Thanks, Bordeaux. It is quite clearly the best night of the race so far, and what says me even more is there's better races to come, but this one's an absolute crack, and we see the Pocket Rocket in distinction as the favourite from box 8, and Corey Smith, you found it too hard to take her on.
Yeah, I just think her class, the experience, it's amazing that she's got the most experience in this sort of field. She feels like it was just a few starts ago that she was in a Phoenix at start number 4 or 5, but she has blistering speed. I'm excited to see her from this sort of draw on this bend start. If she nails the start, she'll sail across and give them something to chase. My numbers are 8, 5, 3 and 7. I do think Dustin's got some serious untapped ability. Dr. Will's probably flying under the radar a touch, and if Hurricane gets across, look out with his mix of speed and strength.
So Distinction is now the equal favourite, I should say, with number 1 Storm Hustler, and Brett Honey, he is the greyhound from box 1 who you like.
Yeah, I've gone the other way. I've gone 1, 8, 3, 5 for me. I've got Storm Hustler on top. There's so much pressure here with a lot of greyhounds need a lead to win. I didn't think Storm Hustler necessarily fit that category. I think he can sneak up the inside. Box 1's going to bring him out, and if he's anywhere near him, he will certainly make his presence felt. I've got Distinction in for second. Obviously, she can cross this field. If she does, she can break their heart, and they're going to be very hard to beat. I've got Dr. Will in for third. Was beaten on merit by Storm Hustler in the heat, but can settle forward. And Dustin is obviously the X factor who could lead this and could lead it for a long way. 1, 8, 3, 5 for me in the Pink Diamond Rookie Sprinter.
Cracking race that is full of intense speed. This is the Pink Diamond Rookie Sprinter final. Here's Dan.
Was second in his heat behind Storm Hustler last start. Moving in. Thank you, Patch. Getting set for race number 4. The Pink Diamond Rookie Sprinter final. This race, when it was first run here, the first final of this race was won by Koblenz, who went on to win the Melbourne Cup of that year. So that shows the quality of runners that make this final. And this is a ripper. The Pink Diamond Rookie Sprinter final. They're set to run. And they're away. There was good speed out from Dr. Will, and he's going to pounce on the lead. Dustin got across to second around the outside of Storm Hustler, who found the rail and charges through a line of 3. Retaliation's trying to push through. They're clear on Distinction, who's next. Well clear on Bold Sight, then Hurricane, last Oklahoma Bale. Storm Hustler found the lead. Retaliation's got the rail. Down the outside was Dustin. It's Storm Hustler bumping with Retaliation. Nose for nose. I think Storm Hustler by a breath. Maybe Storm Hustler a breath, but it's close. On the outside, Retaliation. Dr. Will rallied, might have got third from Dustin. They were clear on Bold Sight making ground. Hurricane, Distinction, and near enough to last, Oklahoma Bale. The time is 27.830, and Storm Hustler's won it.
Well, he mucked about, but in the end, he's gotten the job done. Number 1 Storm Hustler has done so in 27.83. And there's finished in race book order, at least as the placing goes. 1, 2 and 3. Let's get out to Ethan Christian, who's with Des Douch.
Yes, a strong win in 27.83, an absolute humdinger up the straight, Des. You weren't sure if you were first past the post, were you?
No, I wasn't sure. I thought actually the 2 might have got me, but anyway, fought back good.
Absolutely good to be happy about. Now, tell me a little about this fella and particularly the family. I know that you raced, bred the dam. Talk to me through the family.
Oh, the whole family goes good right from the start, mate. But no, he goes good. This dog's had 11 starts now, 1-8, so, you know, he's pretty consistent bugger.
Would we say that maybe the sky's the limit, or are we not going to go that far? I know Dan Hibbard said before the race that the winner of this series in 2021 was a dog by the name of Koblenz, who went on to win the Melbourne Cup. Are we going to get that far ahead of ourselves, or are we just going to take it one start at a time?
Oh, well, I'd like to see him do that, but he'll be trying. Don't worry, he'll be going for the good races that are coming up. So we'll just won't get ahead of ourselves, but he'll be going for the good ones. So.
And as he should be, mate. Great training performance. Well done. Go and collect your pup. Good win.
Thank you very much.
Strong performance from Storm Hustler to win this Pink Diamond race, and Brett Honey, another win.
Well, he started short in the market. In the end, he got out to $3.50, Distinction $2.70, and as much as he was pretty short, Smithy, it was purely based on his ability. You know, he probably could have gone on and done a number on him, but instead it's been a close finish, but doesn't change the fact that he collects first prize and a cool $20,000.
Yeah, it was a funny old race, to be honest. I was obviously nervous about the little indiscretion that Storm Hustler's had in his career, but I think Retaliation might have just leaned up on him as well. So I think we're probably quick to blame Storm Hustler, as we're saying with the head on there. Retaliation was the one that was pushing up the track and was causing that coming together. It wasn't exactly our Waverley Star and Bone Crusher, but it was a bit of a head bobber most of the way, and I don't know how much both of them were applying themselves, but I think Storm Hustler had its mind on the job and got the job done. So we'll see if there's any wash up from that. There probably won't be, but something to keep an eye on moving forward.
Probably more of a Corey Smith, James Vandermark sort of sprint up the 60 metres straight.
Wouldn't have broken
Here
30.
at Bendigo, wouldn't have broken 30, Smithy says. Brett, your take on that race? You're on top selection. Storm Hustler gets the job done. I said before, he wins a cool 20 grand, and if you backed him, you're straight in the queue.
Yeah, maybe not straight in the queue, but eventually got there. Look, it was obviously rough and ready, and there was a few issues there, but it was the box that got Storm Hustler into that position. Distinction, it was just a little bit too much to cross from box 8. She just didn't quite get that start right, and you saw there just wasn't that opportunity to sort of work her way into the race. Dustin was only fair away. So, look, Storm Hustler got there. He put himself in the position. He probably, could have gone on with the job a little bit better, but nevertheless, gets the job done. And I think we'll swiftly move on, Patch.
And Dr. Will, I mean, his run was decent, wasn't it? I mean, he was around some pretty fast dogs who were doing their thing, but he wasn't disgraced by any means, even though he did go to the front.
No, 100%. He's got that, good early speed, reliable early speed. We've seen that at Sandown. It was just a tough race where obviously there was a lot going on. A lot of these greyhounds are very talented and are all showing a bit of speed down the back there. I certainly think there'll be another day for Dr. Will, and already has a good record just after 26 starts.
So Desi Douch gets on the board, and there'll be a lot of people happy about that. He's a lovely man, Des, and I'll never forget the day where he was on radio, and the radio presenter at the time says, "Oh, we're welcoming in Des Douch," and he started the conversation by saying, "What do? Do you sit on the couch at home?" Clearly, he meant, "Do you sit on the couch?" because his name is Des Douch. Very funny. Anyway, he wins the Rookie Sprinter Final for 2026, and as Dan said pre-race, it was won by Koblenz all those years ago, who went on to win a Melbourne Cup. And not only did he do that, but he's also been a pretty handy sire, hasn't he, Smithy, for Dave Gill?
I was chairman and CEO of Koblenz's fan club, if you recall that. So I'm not sure Storm Hustler is going to go to that sort of level, but he certainly got the ability, and he didn't like the dais too much there. We just saw her on screen. He's just jumped off and wants to get away from it. So he looks like a little bit of a quirky dog, but he's certainly got plenty of ability. And Desi Douch, he's a good breeder and a bloody good trainer as well. So he finds a way to find winners in his kennel at all given times, and he deserves a nice win there with Storm Hustler.
Absolutely, he does. Jeez, he's got springs like Jeremy Howe, that boy. The way he lifted up the dais. We'll see where he goes to next, but for tonight, he's a Pink Diamond winner, and good on him, not only Des, but also the ownership group as well, the Diesel Lonti Syndicate. Congratulations to all involved there. Okay, next up, it is the first leg of the quaddie. It is race 5. It is the Pink Diamond Rookie Distance Final. Of course, later on, we'll see the Champion Distance Final with the likes of Without a Trace, Vista Weird to go around, which is going to be a superb contest. But let's concentrate on this Rookie Distance Final firstly. And in terms of the way the market looks ahead of this one, we do have the favourite in number 3 in Emerald Downs. We'll take a look at a replay of her shortly. She did her finest work here last week in a heat. And I did sort of feel, Brett, when I was going through this meeting last week, that these rookie distance heats were quite thin. So I'm not sure how to read some of these, but I mean, I guess they didn't beat much last week, and possibly I don't have a lot to beat this week, but we'll see how it unfolds.
Yeah, it's interesting because some of these greyhounds, had been racing against potentially better company before coming here. There were, I thought, a couple of standouts from the heats, and I think that the early speed is going to be critical. It is a short run to that bend, but what I like is that nice short sectional, so you can get a really good guide about which greyhounds are going to settle forward here. And I think in a rookie distance race, early speed is going to be critical because they're not going to be overly strong over 600 and 60. So if they can find to the front, they're going to go a long way to winning.
And we've spoken about the different sort of